Just going to give you guys a moment to appreciate what we're seeing here, this Seahawks fan, and his amazing statistical analysis and the reality that was yesterday's Titans victory over the Seattle Seahawks. I am still just, the blood is pumping through my veins. It's just time to tighten up in Titan Nation. So excited about the victory yesterday, and so excited for the whole season moving forward. If you're new here, what's up, guys? I'm Nicholas from NGB Talk. Super happy to have you. Titans Rossi in the house. What's up, man? If you're watching this video live, hey, how you doing? Comment. If you're watching this video after the fact, totally cool as well. Don't forget to like the video, helps the channel out and everything. But, we're here just for the Titans. And this is Tennessee Titans week 2 victory over the Seattle Seahawks by the numbers. And again, I want to point out my friend here from from the Seattle Seahawks fan base here says only 58 on 17. Henry's old and tired. You're saying Henry's old. I'm older than him, bro. Okay. And then also, the reality of the situation is Derrick Henry is the king. He had 237 total yards. I mean, it snuck up on us, right? It totally snuck up on us because he had something like 30, maybe 35 yards in the first half, maybe total yards, maybe, receptions and rushing. But he just turned it on, especially in the fourth quarter. And I mean, when Derrick Henry's in overtime, it's go time. So this was so great to see. If you guys are excited about the Titans' victory over the Seattle Seahawks, I know you're here with me. I know you're here with me, just feeling this team come together and it looking so bad. I mean, this was a terrible first 6 quarters of the football season, but we have plenty to grow, plenty to use to grow and move forward, plenty to build on. And today I'm going to break down some of the numbers, but I did want to just kind of start off by just saying how I feel at this point. How are you guys feeling moving forward? Let's dive into some of the numbers to start out with. All right, so it's been a minute since I've done something like this, but I will attempt to share one of my screens with you guys. Okay, give me 2 seconds, and this should be working at this point. Let me get to a presenter mode. So again, we have King Henry, 237 yards. Do you guys not love this? I knew last week it was a total fluke that there was not that much production out of King Henry. Obviously, we couldn't get first downs. We couldn't get anything going. Todd Downing, it looked really, really bad. And I'd say at this point, we can start to feel a little bit better about Todd Downing's ability to make this man go, because he's going to take over a game if you give him the chance. I'm going to break down a little bit about Todd Downing, and especially in the second half of the game, and what this offense is looking like, including on third down. It's different than it was last year for a good reason. I got some dudes in the chat. What's up? Let's see. This guy says, I had, what's up, oh, man, you got like a Latin name. That's cool. Vorsatuous. I had Henry and Lockett on my fantasy team, and the Titans won, so I'm feeling good. You know what? I had Henry and Metcalf on my fantasy team this past week, and I'm feeling very good that Henry was able to make up for all that Metcalf couldn't do. Not much by either receiver, A.J. Brown or Metcalf from Ole Miss. What's up with that? But yeah, Henry got us like 40 or so points, right? That was awesome. Anyway, let's go back to Derrick Henry, and staying patient. You kind of take your lumps in the first half with watching Henry and the way he plays his game. You just know that eventually he's gonna eat if you just keep feeding him the ball. But the other thing about Derrick Henry's production, and you got to look here, it's 41 total touches because he had I think maybe 6 receptions, 55 receiving yards. He did not have 55 receptions. He had 55 receiving yards. And so you see that Todd Downing is starting to allow Derrick Henry. And if you were following Derrick Henry in the offseason, that he was making it a point of emphasis to be able to be a catcher of the ball as much as a runner. I think it's starting to pay off because I don't think he dropped a single pass. We've seen him drop a few passes in the past, but we see him getting open, and we're seeing Derrick Henry. I said I would get to this later, but I kind of can't help myself. We're seeing Derrick Henry line up in these wide receiver sets. We're seeing him split out wide, and we'll have like 4 or 5 receiver sets, and it's kind of incredible to see them try to turn Derrick Henry into almost like Alvin Kamara, while still, allowing the king to be king. But you gotta, as a Titans fan, you gotta love that Derrick Henry was able to do what he was able to do. And if you're like me, you believe that this, all of this right here, all these numbers right here, they were all possible week 1 against the Cardinals. And Andy Williams got a good point here. Let me throw this up here. Andy's right. The pass protection from Derrick Henry was amazing yesterday. We've seen him be able to be serviceable in this regard, but it was amazing to see. And you got to think that Derrick Henry was just feeling like this has to happen. Tannehill cannot get swallowed up again because we're screwed when this happens. So Derrick Henry is taking his already elite, amazing NFL, Hall of Fame ability to a new level. That's amazing. You'll love to see what you got here out of Derrick Henry. And by the way, did you guys see just how quickly on the first Derrick Henry touchdown, when he totally like Chris Johnson's it, he goes right and then he bounces to the left, total Chris Johnson move, right? Did you see that as soon as Derrick's feet change position and he completely just pivots from right to left, did you see the way he changes the ball from one arm to another? I know the announcer mentioned it, but if you watch how quickly it happens, Derrick Henry is a monster and a machine because he pivots his lower body and the upper body, just boom, the ball switches. It's amazing. Go watch it on replay. Go watch it slow motion. It's amazing to see this guy work. We are seriously seeing one of the best that's ever done it. And just yesterday, we all know it, but just be able to have the team so far behind, and it's in Seattle, and they've won 12 in a row at home, and like September football is Russell Wilson football, right? It's November, December that his game normally starts to decline, but this is the time to make a statement about your team on the West Coast. And let's just see what Titans Rossi in the house. Shout out what he has to say. I was really happy to see them throwing him the ball and getting him involved in the pass game. I'm all down for that. I'm down for it too. It's awesome to see. And on third down, to see Derrick Henry stay in the game and provide a little bit of mystery on what this offense is going to do. I know you all said it. I know that I've said it. We hated whenever third down would come up because last year's Arthur Smith offense was always Jeremy McNichols or Darrington Evans out there on third down, and it's an obvious throwing situation. But Derrick Henry showed he can stick around on third down. He can pass protect. He can also, believe it or not, offensive coordinators, Derrick Henry can get a 3rd and 1. He can do it. He did it yesterday, maybe a number of times. All right, guys, let's talk about Julio Jones. This is fantastic to see. You love to see it. I mean, raise your hand if you were actually concerned about Julio Jones or that Vrabel's comments about, he needs to stop all the dumb bleep. Raise your hand if you were actually concerned. Exactly. No one's concerned. This dude is doing exactly what we all expected him to do. 128 yards. That's the number for Julio Jones. 128 yards on 6 catches. He was targeted 8 times. We saw him bobble at least one really catchable ball. It was that drive where they eventually had to settle for a field goal. Unfortunate. 0 touchdowns. And you guys can see. You let me know. What do you think about this ridiculous? I don't know if it's the rule that's crazy or just the call here. You guys let me know in the chat, and you can comment, after the fact, after this is finished going live. What did you think about the touchdown here? We were all just losing our minds because it looked like a touchdown to us. Anyway, so happy to see Julio out there excelling. AJ Brown has an off game. Julio has an on game. So great to see this guy play. So great to see him show up. AJ Brown. Yes, I've been mentioning his name a couple times. 9 targets for AJ Brown. Did you realize that he was targeted 9 times? Do you know how many catches AJ Brown had? He only had 3. He had 3 catches for 43 yards. Of course, he did not get a touchdown. And I saw somewhere some maybe it was PFF, maybe it was somewhere else, said that he had 2 drops. It might have been as many as 3 drops. You guys let me know how many you counted, but there were some very catchable balls. In the second half, there was one that Tannehill threw to him that was a little bit behind him, but this was an off day for AJ. And we usually see even when the Titans are having an off day, AJ still has an on day. Think about the Ravens playoff game. Think about the game last week against the Cardinals. AJ still had a great day. Um, Titans Rossi is trying to say that is 4 drops for AJ Brown. I mean, he had 9 targets. So what do you consider a drop? Is that something that we can find in the rule book? It's crazy how bad of a game he had. But it's also, it's great to see that, like, we were probably only one of these drops away from really having this game packed away, especially in the first half. And then let's see. Yeah. So versus back to Julio and whether or not that was a touchdown. He says, I also think the heel was in. You know, like the announcer on the game said yesterday, could have been a different cleat situation, making all the difference there. So back to AJ Brown. This guy's going to come back. Who's actually worried about AJ Brown? Nobody. Nobody's worried about AJ Brown. Dude's a stud. Had an off day. He'll bounce back. He's gonna be just fine. He's gonna be just fine. The general Ryan Tannehill is gonna get him back into shape. AJ's a stud. AJ's a beast, and no one's gonna be thinking more about how bad of a game he had than him. Before I get to the defense, yeah, we are gonna talk defense and all the sacks and all the pressures that they had. Let's talk just a minute about the offense before we move on to the defense. So with the offense, you guys know Arthur Smith, Matt LaFleur, the way these guys had this offense running. The way they had this offense running, it was always Derrick Henry on first and second down, and we always saw third down, Derrick Henry would come off the field, and you just hated it because it was telling the opposing side exactly what we're doing. And, the Titans are tough guys, and that's okay. We can let them know what we're going to do. We don't have to be that way. We can be a little bit of finesse. We can be a little bit of misdirection and mystery. And so, with Derrick Henry stepping up in the offseason and saying, I'm going to become a better pass catching back. And with the addition of not addition, but the promotion of Todd Downing to offensive coordinator, you got to think maybe Todd's looking at the last couple of years of offense for the Titans and thinking third down is a weak point. We can definitely do something to fix this. And obviously, against the Cardinals, we did not see anything that resembled a good offensive plan. We did not see anything that resembled mystery. It was terrible. It was terrible how bad the game plan was. And for this reason alone, we were running Derrick Henry first and 10, first and 10, first and 10 so often. But we were also not switching off every once in a while and doing a play action pass on first down. I think that had a lot to do with the confidence in the O line. So that take that for what it is. But it's incredible that it was so bad in week 1, and we see in week 2 such a great change occur. The first half of the game, I wouldn't necessarily blame the play calling as the main reason. Maybe you would, but I wouldn't necessarily blame the play calling as the reason that it was such a slow start. Those drops by some of our receivers, that was extremely bad. And then, of course, Derrick Henry didn't have quite the production that we're used to in the first half of a game. But honestly, it was kind of very similar to what we've seen. I think, and I don't have a graphic for him, but I think Ryan Tannehill deserves a shout out here. The beginning of the game, he came out like a general, and he seemed like he had this amazing, amazing sense of urgency. The crowd at Lumen Field is going insane. Ryan Tannehill is changing the play, and changing the play. How many times did he change the play? I don't have a graphic for that, but that'd be a good stat to look into. So many times he's out there and he's having to yell at the dudes because the crowd noise is so loud. There was a sense of urgency on Ryan Tannehill's part to make sure we have exactly the play we need early on. And so that was amazing and awesome to see as a Titans fan. Shout out to Ryan Tannehill for being a beast. Love that dude. So got to say that about the offense. But then if you take a look at the offensive game plan, let me know if you notice this too. We did do a bit of running on first down, and I pretty much expect that to happen. And I actually don't have that big of a deal or big of a problem. I don't think it's that big of a deal with it happening. I do want to point out, though, that second down, it's getting to be very predictable. Third down is where I think this offense is starting to take shape and change into a more professional or a more elite sort of mysterious way of taking on these defenses with Derrick Henry staying on the field. And we all have been clamoring about this for a long time. Todd Downing is not a genius for keeping Derrick Henry out there, but we love to see it. We love to see it. It's going to make this offense so much better to keep him on the field. And you're seeing that Todd Downing is not afraid of using Derrick Henry in these wide receiver sets, splitting him out wide. Let me take you to the first drive of the second half for the Tennessee Titans. Before I do, let's just see. Let's check in on the comment section. And you did have a pronunciation of this. Versutis. Okay, Versutis. Yeah. We got it, man. Versutis. Tanny was my lone bright spot from week one. He seemed like the only guy on offense fighting. Yeah, I get it. AJ Brown, I thought was great on week one, but Tannehill was definitely a general in week one too. Let me get to this. So I sat down and I watched. Well, I rewatched the whole game this morning. It was awesome. But I watched the first drive of the second half, and I also took note of what plays we did, what we did on first down, what we did on third down. There were hardly any second downs. Actually, there were hardly any third downs. There were so many first downs due to chunk plays and penalties called on the Seattle defense. And I also took a look at where Derrick Henry was in this offense. So let me just share a few things with you about this. So the Titans' second half first drive, there were 5 total runs and there were 4 passes. There were 5 runs. There were 4 runs on first down and there was 1 run on third down. There were 4 passes. 2 were on first down. So a couple of them were on second down. So we have 5 total runs, 4 passes. And then there were a couple first downs that we got in this drive because Michael Pruitt was getting into it with the guys, and the Seattle defense was just kind of starting to show that they didn't have the composure to play the Titans and not get these penalties. But if you take a look here, a lot of people have been saying, what are we doing on first down? Why are we constantly running Derrick Henry on first down? Well, here's the very first thing we do. 1st and 10 on the Tennessee 20. Henry runs right. It looks like the I formation to me. It's an 11-yard gain. Derrick Henry, first play of the second half is an 11-yard gain running on first down. Okay, guys? The next first down, because that's already another first down, it's a 3-yard gain. It's a pitch right for Derrick Henry. All right? And then Roger Saffold gets injured. He comes out of the game. Second down, it's a shotgun, and it's a 4-receiver set. Henry is lined up as a receiver. It's a check down to Michael Pruitt for 6 yards. So now it's 3rd and 1. And this is what I've been talking about. And this is what all of us want to see. It's 3rd down at the Tennessee 40. And we all just want to see Derrick Henry stay in the game. We do not want to see Jerry McNichols on every single 3rd down. We want to see that there's going to be a little bit of change here. And there was. We ran the ball, Derrick Henry, just straight up the gut on 3rd and 1. And he ends up getting like 5 yards, just blasting right through him. You just love to see it. Derrick Henry wants to stay on the field, wants to get these yards, and this offense desperately needs him on 3rd down. Not every 3rd down, but some of these 3rd downs. And so this is a great evolution for our offense. The next first down is a toss to A.J. Brown for a 15-yard gain. The next first down, Tannehill changes the play, gives it to Henry, and it's actually a 2-yard loss at that point. So it's 2nd and 12. We're on the Seattle 43-yard line, and it's a shotgun formation. Henry is split wide up top of the screen if you're watching it, and he's split wide up top, wide left of Tannehill. This is that chunk play to Michael Pruitt at the end. you guys know the Seattle defender. He the Seattle defender pushes him a little too much and gets a penalty there. Um, hey, shout out to Michael Pruitt. Let's see what Titans Rossi has to say. I really think Michael Pruitt gave us a huge boost with the way he was jawing with Adams. I mean, you just who knows what he says, but all we see is Michael Pruitt's helmet like this because he's just doing all the trash talk. This just love to see Michael Pruitt. That's how we say it in my house, by the way. And so yeah, this guy brought the energy. You know what kind of energy I'm talking about. Hi Scott, how's it going, buddy? Yeah, get back to work. Um, so we love to see that. And then so we have the big game by Michael Pruitt. I don't know if the unnecessary roughness call took that away or negated that, but all of a sudden we are on the Seattle 14-yard line. I'm pretty sure it was not negated. It's a shotgun set again, and it's another throw to Michael Pruitt, and it's holding call on the defense. This was weird. I don't know if it was Jamal Adams they called it on or if it was number 57. They said number 57. We didn't see him on the play, but the Seattle defense was losing its composure big time. The next play is the Chris Johnson Derrick Henry play. It's first and goal, Seattle 9, and Derrick Henry goes to the right and then skirt, skirt, and then turns and he does his best Chris Johnson impression, just taking as much of the field as he possibly can into the end zone, and all of a sudden we got a ball game. It was incredible. On the next drive, we would miss a field goal, and it felt like everything was lost and all hope was gone. But then we came back, but it was so great to see. It was so great to see this drive happen, and I just want to point out to you about this new Titans offense. Now, a lot of people saying we need to be throwing the ball a lot more on first down. On first down, Derrick Henry gets an 11-yard gain. On first down, Derrick Henry gets a 3-yard gain. On first down, Derrick Henry has a 2-yard loss. On first down, Derrick Henry gets a 9-yard gain that happens to be a touchdown. That's our second half first drive. And the next drive, Derrick Henry continues to have a lot of great plays and great plays on first down. I'd say the big difference, though, and I pointed this out, is that, why didn't any of this happen against the Cardinals in week 1? For some reason, we totally abandoned play action in that game against the Cardinals. And we actually see a lot more of the play action coming up and coming up big on first down in this game. All right, so let's check in with everybody. Pursutus. Speaking of McNichols, did I miss Evans getting hurt? It's nuts of his point. Yeah, I know. The thing about Darrington Evans, and gosh, Darrington Evans, this might be a big bust of a pick. I mean, we saw him finally come out at the end of last season, and he looked decent, but we really need to see this guy to see if he deserves a roster spot next season. So I'm telling you what, definitely need to see this guy back in there. But McNichols, I mean, I guess it was overtime. You guys saw McNichols. He made some great catches in the middle of the field, just check downs, but still moving the chains, able to push forward. And if you ever look at McNichols, dude is jacked. Dude is a beast. If you look at Darrington Evans, I'm like, you need to get on his level. No disrespect, Darrington Evans. You're strong, man, but just man, look at Darrington Evans, and then look at Bobby Wagner. I'm just saying, these dudes are killing. They're trying to get on Derrick Henry's level. Yes, we definitely have to talk about King Henry bouncing Diggs off the ground like he's a basketball. This was amazing. We were losing our minds at this point in the game. Amazing to see Derrick Henry do this. We've, it's been too long since we've seen him do it. I guess it's been since the Texans game in week 17 last year that we saw Derrick Henry do something like this. But this was amazing. I hope you guys checked out the thumbnail for this video. And just in case you forgot what the thumbnail for this video is, yeah, this is Derrick getting it done. Derrick is making his man. And you guys, did you see him? Did you see him after the play? I know you did. Quadron Diggs, I believe his name is. Quadron? Oh, I don't want to mess this up. Quandre? I think it's Quandre. Quandre Diggs. He's on the sideline, tears his helmet off his head, and is so upset. I'd be upset too, man. I mean, he's the king. What are you gonna do? This was fantastic. No. I think it was Quandre Diggs. Okay. Man. Oh man, this is enough about the offense already, man. we do have some stuff to talk about with the defense. I'm trying to think there's anything else I need to say about this offense before we move on because so much good to say, especially in the second half. Let's go ahead and get to it then. Taco Tuesday. So we had 2 sacks. I put 2 asterisks here because I could have sworn Laurel Murchison had himself a sack. It might have been that Russell Wilson was already taking off and it gets counted as a tackle, but the pressure was here. The pressure was heavy. 1.5 sacks for Danico Autry. Finally seeing that acquisition really show up because he and Simmons together were a force in the middle of this pocket for Russell Wilson. It was so great to see. And we also saw that 7 total pressures accumulated just between the two of them. I saw this stat and I checked it. I was like, is it possible that other guys were a part of this pressure total? No, this was just Jeffrey Simmons and Danico Autry. Harold Landry, Dupree, they had a couple pressures too, but these dudes were bringing it and they were bringing it heavy. This was fantastic to see. And honestly, a little bit what we saw last week against Kyler Murray was these dudes were getting pressure. The pressure was there, but they were over pursuing Kyler Murray. And in this game, we saw the defense get pressure and kind of keep contain and make sure the guys stay where they need to be. So this was awesome to see. More sacks, more pressure, more wrecking the pocket of opposing quarterbacks for this defense moving forward. And I also put a 2 asterisk here because you guys tell me what you think. In overtime, that was intentional grounding, right? I can't pronounce the dude's name that did it. It looks like Adenei, and don't even try to make me say his first name, but it should have been maybe 3 or 4 sacks for this Titans team. And overtime, it was great to see Bullock come out there and do his thing and kick that field goal. But really, Russell Wilson was taken down in the end zone because he threw the ball away, and it should have been called intentional grounding. It wasn't. What do you guys think? Is that intentional grounding there or not? And if you have intentional grounding in the end zone, that's a safety, and we should have won at that point. So what the heck, guys? You let me know. But this defense, no disputing this. The defense showed up and played great. Let's continue with the defense, talking about DK Metcalf, okay? Why are we talking about this guy? Because dude did not have a great game because, for the most part, Christian Fulton was on him and was playing almost at like a shutdown corner level. Now, Metcalf had a pass or two in which Jackrabbit Jenkins was covering him. I think Rashaan Evans was covering him at one point. DK got a few catches here, 6 in total, but 11 targets, 6 catches, even though he was targeted 11 times. So you love to see the defense be able to kind of shut down a great guy like this. Obviously, Lockett had an amazing day. Tyler Lockett and Swain from the Seahawks as well. It's going to happen with these young defenders coming in here, and just with the Titans defense right now, these big plays, they're going to happen a little bit here and there. But it was awesome to see Christian Fulton, who for the most part on this day was covering Metcalf and was very, very good. So let's check in on the comment section, see what's going on. Hey, what's up? 5150, how you doing, bud? And Versutis definitely agrees with me here. It's got to be grounding in the end zone. I mean, he's throwing the ball away in the end zone. This looks like who did that in a Super Bowl? Tom Brady? Was it against the Seahawks? You guys let me know. Intentional grounding, like at the very beginning of the Super Bowl game. Let's see what this guy has to say. Dadson Worldwide. What's up, Dadson? It was 100% safety as it was a touchdown catch. Oh, so okay. The ref also gave 1 yard on first down. They didn't get and rush the ball back. Oh, yeah. So, yeah, do you guys see that too? I mean, I know what we're seeing on TV. Is not the yellow first down line. That's not exactly what's reality on the field, but this was, I think, the Seattle Seahawks' first drive of the second half, and it was a run up the middle, and they got about 8 yards. There was a throw to Lockett, just a little quick screen, bubble screen, and he got like 1 yard, maybe less. And then there was a run by Chris Carson of the Seahawks that basically went nowhere, but they gave him the first down. It was kind of incredible. And, I know that I don't know if you guys know this, but the Seahawks Twitter fan base, or the Seahawks Twitter, they're actually trying to claim that the refs were against the Titans the whole game. Maybe these refs just had a bad game, but yeah, can't believe that was not a safety. Um, let's see. More stuff about the refs. Yeah, he was hit after he was sliding, no call. Just it was just kind of just a not the best day there. I mean, they did call one roughing the passer at one point, and I think was pretty deserved based on what everything else they've called recently. Calling some things maybe they shouldn't have, but um, yeah. So yeah, Versutis is with us here, folks. He's don't get me started on that almost 2 yard short. I know it was so crazy to see them get the first down. Blew my mind. Like, to us watching at home, it wasn't even close. So who even knows? Who even knows? So let's get back to the numbers. We're chasing down the numbers at this point. Let's talk about this. This is a huge number. I can't claim that I found this stat out, but I saw it on NFL.com, and I trust the writer at NFL.com breaking down like what we learned from Sunday's games. 88 yards is as much as the Titans defense allowed to the Seahawks outside of that bomb, that busted coverage to Swain, that gave them the 30 points. Outside of that one bomb, huge, terrible mistake on the Titans defense, busted coverage. There's no other way to explain it. He was wide open, guys. It's crazy. Other than that, 88 yards is as much as the Seahawks got in 2 quarters and overtime. It was a huge, huge improvement for this Titans defense. Do you see it as being an improvement, based on the fact that this stat is kind of manipulating things a little bit? One busted coverage away from 88 yards. I think it's an improvement. I think that the Titans defense really showed up in the second half, kind of with this ultra aggressiveness. It seemed like guys were finally tackling. In the Cardinals game, it seemed like the guys were almost like allergic to tackling, and I get it in week 1. You're not used to it, and you've been having to back off of tackling guys all summer long. So you kind of get it. This game, it was very aggressive tackling, very clean tackling on the Titans' part. I don't see too many dudes that made tackling errors, and the Titans defense was just swarming them. And then Russell Wilson and the Seattle Seahawks, they just did not attempt very many deep passes in the second half, and that's their bread and butter. You don't understand why this didn't happen. Maybe the Titans coverage was that good. I haven't seen the all 22 film to see. Maybe they just wanted to just have a really extremely conservative game plan approach in the second half. I don't think it's anything you ever want to do against a Titans team that has Derrick Henry. You got to stay aggressive. And if you're already, torching us like you guys have been doing in the first half, why would you stop? But I think it's not all the Seattle Seahawks. It's this defense showed up and decided to play really well in the second half, playing much more aggressive. Let's check in on the comments, see what you guys have to say here. Let's see. Yeah, so I'm excited about Fulton, he hopefully he's becoming this true number 1 corner. He kind of doesn't look like a true number 1 corner, doesn't quite have that size, but I think that's exactly why we drafted Caleb Farley. And then so like Adoree Jackson, I didn't get to see too much of the Giants game. You guys let me know. I did see at least one play in which he allowed a touchdown, but how bad was Adoree Jackson, and how different do you feel knowing that he's out there playing some not so good football as of late? It's only been 1 week, and that, I mean, it's a hard life for a DB in the NFL these days. And Brandon, I got to agree with you here. He says, if the defense plays like the second half, we won't lose another game this year. I got to agree. This was outstanding by the defense. Are we going to see, things change? Are they going to always be able to shut these guys down? Probably not. But, as long as our offense is clicking, that's what we said all offseason. If the defense can be a little bit better, we're going to be great. Let's see. And let's see. Versutis says, I want Fulton as our first round pick in that draft. And a lot of us were saying Fulton first round as well, instead of he who will not be named. And then when he wound up in our lap in the second round, it was amazing to see that, especially how far back in you go to the AFC Championship game, and all of a sudden you're drafting super late. So great to see Fulton be able to play well. And, he wasn't playing well against just anybody. It was DK Metcalf. This dude is in the prime of his career. So give it up for the defense. They rose to the occasion. Maybe right now we aren't totally hating the Shane Bowen, Mike Vrabel led defense. Maybe, hopefully. But this is good to grow from here. And last stat I'm throwing at you guys today. We got to talk about this. This stat is huge. And it's early in the season, but 0 wins for the Colts. And, they lose to the Rams and they lose to the Seahawks. So they're losing to really good teams that we absolutely should be seeing it, if not in the playoffs, make a deep run in the playoffs. So you get it. The Colts are 0 wins, and the Titans could easily be at 0 wins too. But they're not, right? So to see the Colts at 0 wins, it's just great to see. I hate to see this, though, for Carson Wentz. I hate to see this dude, with the banged up ankle. It's an ankle injury, I'm pretty sure, not a foot injury. So it's not like he's reignited. It's not like he's this guy. Yeah, imagine that. It's not like he's torn. It's not like he's torn his foot back open. It's an ankle injury, and I believe it was Aaron Donald that rolled up on him, tackled him, and caused him to roll up on his ankle. So you hate to see that for Carson Wentz. I want to see the Titans play a 100% Colts next week, week 3 in Nashville. You guys let me know. I want to see us play against the best so that we can continue to elevate our game and be the best. But man, it's never a bad thing to see the Colts with 0 losses. Of course, they never win their home opener anyway, but you'll just love to see this. And so we got to keep our eyes on the AFC South as we are currently a half a game behind the Houston Texans of all people. And obviously we got to keep an eye out on Tyrod Taylor as well. Do you guys think that because Tua is out or maybe has an injury, pretty bad injury in Miami, do we think that the Dolphins go ahead and trade for Deshaun Watson? That's the first thing I thought when I saw Tua go down was this might be Watson's time to get jettisoned because this is kind of what we all expected. Sometime in the middle of the season, Watson's going to be traded away. Let's see. What are you saying here, Brandon? Apparently they're reporting it's both ankles now. Gosh, you hate this for the guy. Carson, we were saying it all offseason on this channel and other people's channels. This is the best situation that Carson could be in, to be at the Colts, back again with Frank Reich, a good organization with a solid defense and some, a few playmakers on offense, but really good O-line, obviously, and just get him out of Philly. And to see the injuries start to stack up against him, you hate to see it. I hope he's making a good recovery. And you don't want this kind of thing to ruin his career. Speaking of career ruining injuries, what about Taylor Lewan, guys? Jeez. Clowney Super Bowl. NGB Talk, it's good to have you back. Can't wait to see you on collab with other Titans tubers again. It's gonna happen. Don't you worry, Clowney Super Bowl. What is that channel name though? He's doing great for the Browns, right? We'll hope the best for the Colts moving forward. And unless they're playing the Titans, then they need to get punched in the mouth. Let's see. Let's check in with the last couple comments, and then NGB Talk's gonna be done for the day. What's up, Titan Anderson? Good to see you. I mentioned Lewan a second ago. Yeah, Lewan looks like he has no lateral speed. He looks like he can't stand on his knee right. It's awful. I hate it for him. But man, this O-line just, Derrick Henry's bringing out the best in these dudes. We got David Questenberry. You guys know the story on David, don't you? Just amazing to see this guy out there. And then we saw Aaron Brewer come out. Glad they're not throwing any passes his way. Thank God for that. And then let's see what Scott has to say. Not sure what's up with Lewan now, but it seems like he might need to be put on IR at this point. It might just take him more time to get this leg up and running. And you notice that it is his right leg, the same one that he injured before. So Hate to see it. Hate to see it for this dude. Anyway, hey, guys, thanks so much for being here. If you were here live with us, that's cool. If you were here watching this after the fact, that's cool too. This was Titans by the numbers. If you like this kind of thing, going through the numbers and checking out just how great the Titans were, we'll do this on a we'll do this on a time that we lose too. So we can talk about all the numbers. But I just want to put this graphic back because a lot of you guys didn't see this at the beginning. But right here is my guy with only 58 on 17. I mean, what does he do with the sign? What does he do with this sign? Does he at what point in overtime or towards the end of the fourth quarter, when does he take the sign and like kind of fold it up and put it in his pocket like Derrick Henry's great. Who would ever doubt him? Like, what's this guy even have to say at this point about this? He had 237 total yards, folks. Derrick Henry's a beast. He's a monster. He had 3 touchdowns. And this guy says he's old and tired. I'm just saying, I'm older than Derrick. What are you saying, bro? All right. So, hey, you guys be good. Tighten up. Thanks for being here. This was super fun. You guys want me to do this again? Let me know. Be sure to like and subscribe if you've never been here before. You guys are the best. Tighten up.